from you, and also I would give you some tips that you can use to yeah, thank you for recording the session. Yeah, I will give you some tips about how you can connect with your partners in India and then create a quality board and get a good grade at the end. Um, I will also talk about Miro, how you can use it. I will introduce the main features of the software, and then we start working on the board. So you should have a laptop um, to access to your, I mean, access your board, and then put some materials, upload some materials on your board. Yeah. So any question? Okay, good. So let me just close this one. All right. Can you see the Miro board?
Yes, sir.
Okay, good. So I've uploaded some materials for you. You know, before doing anything in on this coursework, first you should go to week 10 and study materials about value and waste. So this project is mainly focused on waste, but you know, to remove waste, first we should understand value. So we know value and the things that are not added value, we call them waste. Very easy. So first we should define value, and then we can define waste based on definition of value. So all of these materials are available on now. So go to week 10 and study the whole week, which is very important. But you know, basically, in Lean, we know TIMBITS. TIMBIT stands for transportation, inventory, motion, waiting, overproduction, overprocessing, defects, and unused skills. Yeah. So these are eight types of waste we have in Lean. Toyota Way understand it in another, I mean, another method. Uh, as I put here, they define waste as muda, mura, and muri. The definition for all of these things are okay. Somebody mute me. Is it okay? Can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So Muda, Mura, and Muri, these are 10 types of waste, but in these projects, we are focused on 8 types of waste that are timbered. So, and you know, physical wastes are products of these wastes. Yeah, so if you want to remove physical waste, I know that many people in construction projects, in the construction industry, they focus on minimizing waste. Yeah, but this is not working because first we should sort out these things. I mean, waste is the product of bad management. Yeah. So if you want to remove waste, if you want to minimize waste in your projects, first you should sort out these issues. Yeah. Yeah, these 8 types of waste, we call them timbits. So I briefly define each waste now. Again, you must have access to this board. I call it Learning Hub, so all the materials required are uploaded here. This is mainly useful for our Indian counterpart because they don't have access to now, but yeah, you can use it as well. Anyway, transportation. So we move things around the site. We move things from one location to another location, from one project to another one. All of these um, tasks are called transportation waste. Why is it? Why transportation is waste? What do you think? Open your mic.
You've got like the time that the materials get to the site, so that's like wasting time, or you've
Hmm.
got
the fact that fuel or diesel and CO2, if you're looking from like a sustainable point,
Hmm.
used in that sense.
Yes, definitely. So there are some negative consequences. You burn fuels, carbon footprint. When you move things around the site, you may have defects. They may get damaged. So we will have so many problems with transportation. But the main point is that transportation doesn't add any value to our project. So the client is not willing to pay you for transportation. We know that we need transportation for building the facility. We need to deliver materials and resources to the site, but we should minimize transportation. Yeah. So effective transportation is necessary, but in many cases we have excessive transportation. For example, double handling. So you store your materials or components somewhere and then move it from one place to another place. This is waste. Yeah. Or you source your materials from far away suppliers instead of using local products. So these are transportation waste, and we should try to keep them to a minimum. So unnecessary movement of material resources. Yeah. So the next, any question about transportation? Good. Next waste is inventory. As you know, in Toyota, we have just-in-time principle. Just-in-time means that we just uh, we will bring components, spare parts, whatever we need for today production. And then when we finish the product, then the product should leave at the same day. So in Toyota, everything that are required, all the elements and components of a car will be delivered to the factory in the morning. Then they work in the production line to build the Toyota, and the Toyota should leave the site, should leave the factory at the same day. So we call it just in time, and in construction, in most cases we have just in case, and just in case is a kind of waste. So excessive materials that are stored on site, kind of uh, inventory waste, or working process. What is working process? Sorry, working progress. I guess working process. Working progress. What is working progress? I guess something that we can see in construction quite frequently. We start doing something, but in the middle of the way, we understand that we have some constraints or materials are not ready, or we haven't got enough information. There's an error in drawing, so we just leave that task and start another task. Again, we carry out a bit of that task, and again, we cannot complete it. Go to the next task, next task, next task. So you have lots of tasks that are not finished and they are not processed. Yeah, we call this work in progress, and it is a kind of inventory waste. So inventory waste is not just about excessive materials you stored on site. It's also about work in progress, uncompleted works that you have, and also multitasking. So multitasking again is a kind of waste. So this is inventory waste. Then we have unnecessary efforts. We call it motion. Many many students confuse transportation and motion. Yeah, but these two are different. Sometimes you can see some similarities, but in most cases, motion is about unnecessary efforts or steps people take to do something. Yeah, for example, uh, you know, uh, poor health and safety practice on site is kind of motion based. Yeah, or bad posture for working is a kind of waste, motion waste. So extra steps um, people take to do something. For example, it's not required, but we go through double standards or something like that. These are called motion waste. Or we use tools or equipments that are not suitable for that particular type of job. So all of these things are motion based, and I will show you some examples. Um, and photos of site to clarify this. Then we have waiting. So it's quite obvious. We wait a lot on site, waiting for materials, waiting for information, waiting for components, waiting for the previous preceding work to be completed. All of these things are kind of waste. So waiting is waste as well. Next waste is overproduction. So we make things more than we need, or we buy things more than we need. We call it overproduction. And overproduction causes bottlenecks. If you remember from, the Parade of Trade game, the simulation we played together um, uh, with a die, if you remember. We had bottlenecks over there because one of you, for example, rolled a die 6. Next trade rolled 2. Again, you rolled 6. He rolls 3. Yeah, so you produce lots of products, yeah, but the next trade is not able to process those products. So this is a bottleneck, and we call it overproduction. Overproduction in many cases uh, is the consequence of will lead to inventory waste as well, because you have lots of things and components available on site and you need to store them on site, and you will get a messy site, very busy, difficult to circulate. Any question about these wastes so far? Good. Next one is extra processing or over processing. These are extra works that you do. It's not required. For example, um, um, you need to sign different documents. Yeah, or multiple signatures are required to confirm something. Yeah, so you should sign it, and the next person sign it. Lots of signing to confirm something that are not required. These are extra work. Or double entry of data. Yeah, for example, you have 2D drawings. Yeah, then you build a BIM model based on 2D drawings. It is kind of waste. Interesting, isn't it? So most cases we think that BIM is very good. Yeah, it is good, but you must start from the beginning. So you should create a model on BIM. In many cases, I noticed that people create 2D drawings in CAD, and then from 2D drawings, we have some people to convert 2D drawings to a BIM model. Again, it is waste of time. It is extra work that are not required. So double handling, double entry of data is a kind of waste. Higher quality than needed. So we add something that that is not asked by the client, yeah, and we cannot get paid for that. So the client is not willing to pay. He likes it, she likes it, but it is something out of scope. Yeah. So your project should have a scope. For example, if you are building a school, you build the foundation, you build the structure, the walls, finishing, flooring, everything. Yeah, but furniture is not usually included. So if you add furniture, the client will not pay you. Or for example, in the UK, usually developers do not provide flooring. Yeah, so you should buy your own carpet or laminate or hardwood, whatever. So if a developer um, do the carpeting as well, it is an extra thing. They will charge you for that. Yeah. If they don't charge, it is kind of over processing. Yeah. Next one, defects. So defects is quite, again, just something that we can see in project. And it is formal in construction to have a punch list. Do you know what's the punch list?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, what is it?
It's like a snag work, sir. Snag work.
Yeah. So it's a list of unfinished work. So we commission the project, but we have a punt list. So usually the client representative or the consultant designers, they create a punt list for you. So these are defects that we identify in this project, and everybody expect to have that, but nobody asks why. Why should we have defects? So first, we should do it perfectly at once. The first time. First time we should do it correctly, accurately, and then just done. Returning, fixing, redoing something, it is waste. Yeah. So products failure to function or meet expectations of the client, yeah, or incorrect war errors, errors in drawings, error in execution of the project, human errors. I mean, these are all defects, and again, it is obvious that this is a serious waste that we should minimize or eliminate if it's possible. So, but in construction, people just want to finish the job as soon as possible and go out of the project. Yeah. And then they need to get back, they need to bring their resources, fix it, and then it's costly. And then we have unused skills. So these are kind of new ways that are added in the recent years. So underutilization of your sources, your people. So let me fix this one. So underutilization of talents, skills, knowledge. For example, you have automation, but you don't use it. So people, instead of working, carrying out their duties on site, they're just doing admin jobs. Yeah. Or you allocate wrong people to wrong tasks. They can't do it properly. They can't do it efficiently. Yeah. So um, poor recruitment is a kind of unused skills wastes. Yeah. Or you can also say, for example, um, micromanagement is kind of waste. So you as a manager, you as a project manager have some responsibility to direct the project, but you are getting involved in small tasks, monitoring, close monitoring of people. All of these things are micromanagement. Yeah. So these are 8 types of waste. We call them TIMVITs. Yeah. Any question about these things? Everything clear? Good. So let's play game together. Okay. Can you see it fine? Face recognition game.
Yes, sir.
Okay, good. So I was just want to show you some photos. Let me just see if I can zoom in. Yeah, I will show you some photos and you should tell me what type of waste you can see in these photos based on what we have learned from the definition of waste. Yeah. So you can just open your mic and talk, or you can just type your answer in the chat. So we have TIMVITs, yeah. Transportation, inventory, motion, waiting, overproduction, overprocessing, um, defects, and unused skills. So in this photo, what type of waste you can see? You can type in, or you can just open your mic and say it. Defects, what else? Inventory, What else? Unused? Unused what? Bad inventory. Okay, good. Other students, please contribute. Waiting, inventory, defects. Why waiting, Charlie?
Well, if there's like materials on site and the crews aren't there to, you know, you don't
Mm,
need to store materials on site. You can just get them transported if the crews are there to get the job done straight away, rather than having to leave them laying about for days or hours or whatever. You can just get it done, and that's an issue with waiting.
okay, okay, good, good, good. So most of you talking about inventory and yeah, storing material on site. Yeah. So let's just put inventory here. It is correct. Yeah, inventory and defect. It's true. Yeah, we in that previous photo we could see some parts that are stored incorrectly, improperly on site. So definitely, when you incorporate these things into the building, then you can see the defects. So defects is also correct. Inventory correct. Defect correct. Yeah. So next photo, here you can see a bunch of workers on site, and this guy here is the project manager of this project. So what type of waste you can see in the second one? Inputs, transportation, inventory, motion, waiting, overproduction, overprocessing, defects, and unused skills. Nita said underutilized skills, good. Skills, motion. Motion, unused skills, waiting, unused skills, unused skills. Okay, somebody, yeah, Krupali, you said motion. Why motion?
Yes, sir, because if we are thinking about that unnecessary efforts they are putting, but they are not according to the planning, so we can say
Hmm.
it's a motion.
Okay, thank you very much. What about waiting? Gomez, Akanshka, no, Akanksha, sorry. So waiting, I think waiting is also correct. The correct answer is unused skills, as most of you pick it up correctly. But as you can see, this guy here is waiting, doing nothing. So yeah, we can say waiting. And you know, motion, you can see the project manager here bending. Yeah, and bending, lifting up things, these are motion wastes. These are tasks that we shouldn't do. Yeah, they may cause health and safety issues in long term. So lots of bending, lots of lifting or shifting, these things are kind of ways. And you can see in addition to unused skills, that is the answer for this picture. We have waiting and motion as well. So yeah, unused talent, unused skills, all of these terms are equal and correct. So in this picture, we have something like a brick wall. So what do you think? What type of vase can you see here? Transportation, inventory, defects, good, defects. Yeah, yeah, I think everybody agreed on defects. So here. Yeah, defect is the correct answer. Thank you very much. What about this one? These are uh, tools used for welding. Um, so, what do you think? What type of vase is this? Transportation, inventory, motion, overprocessing, right? What else? Transportation, inventory, Nita, good. Inventory again, everything. I mean, inventory again. What else? Okay, so why overprocessing, Aaron?
So the welding rod looks like they used many number of welding rods with reference to the required one, sir. They used too many welding rods.
So they got extra welding.
Yes.
Uh, so it is overproduction then.
Oh, pardon, sorry.
Yeah,
Yes, okay, my mistake.
overproduction means
Production. Yeah.
excessive buying excessive materials or
Yes.
producing lots of unrequired things. But
Yes.
inventory, I think inventory is correct. What about transportation, Krupali?
So because we are moving the things from this thing to another thing, and might be over there something waste, something is getting waste, and they are we are moving that for something else. So it's a
Hmm.
waste material by transporting something. So it is getting damaged as well by transportation. So we can see that as well.
So you think the packaging is damaged because of
Yeah.
the excessive transportation?
Yes.
Oh,
Yes.
interesting, interesting. Yeah, yeah. So as you can see, we can have different interpretation, different analysis of the same photo, and this is something that I need you to do in this code project. So you see the waste, you should identify the waste in the picture, try to describe it, analyze it, and then identify the root causes. And then you should come up with some solutions, yeah, to reduce these type of waste in projects. So yeah, let's say it is inventory, but transportation can be correct as well. Overproduction also is correct. Yeah, and inventory is also true. So here I need to explain this photo a little bit. So these are uh, windows we bought for this building, and we use these windows in different levels, but we store them all in the ground floor level. So what type of vase is this? Waiting, transportation. We have inventory, motion, waiting, overproduction, overprocessing, defects, and unused talent. Motion, waiting, inventory, transportation. Nita, why transportation?
Because you're like putting it on site, and then you're going to end up moving that from where it is to where it needs to go.
Exactly. So it's a problem that I discussed before, double handling. So you store them in the ground floor, but you need in floor 6. Yeah. So again, you have to move them lift them up from here to level 6. So you have two transportation here, one from for example, from the lorry to the ground floor and from ground floor to floor 6. So this is one problem. Another problem, we have inventory issues as well. This side is fine, but many cases the ground floor gets so busy in projects because it's easier to store materials and components over there. So you have a bottleneck here, the first in the ground floor, and circulation would be very difficult, and there might be some health and safety issues as well. So, Budika, why waiting?
It was in the ground floor and it was keeping there for a long time until the upper floors is ready and delivered to the upper floors, and it will get damaged when was in the ground floor. So the places are occupied, can't do anything in there. They can't carry on the work belong to the ground floor because of the stock is there.
Oh yeah, this is waiting list. If when we talk about waiting, mainly we are talking about people who are waiting for something. So materials waiting for people is sort of inventory issue. But people waiting for material or something like that, it is waiting waste. Yeah, so here we can see people waiting for material, but consider, for example, another subcontractor come in and wants to do something with the flooring. Yeah, then they have to wait. You should double handle these things to somewhere else, and then they can start working. That is waiting. True. Why motion, Charlie?
I think I just was almost basing the motion on a little bit of the transport, in that you create an extra steps for another workforce to take up the extra flights to install the windows.
Yeah. Yeah, in many cases we confuse motion with transportation. Motion is about motion of people and equipment, small movement. Large movement, yeah,
So
carrying things is
moving
transportation.
the windows from the ground floor up the further floors, that wouldn't be classed as motion, would that be transport then? Because it's a
Transportation.
larger.
Yeah. A small movement we call the motion. But when you carry something from one place to another, lift it up, then it would be motion. It would be transportation. Sorry. So let's say it is transportation. Correct. Thank you. So next picture, this mixer we have concrete, and we have ordered extra concrete. So they just pouring concrete out of the site because they don't know what to do with it. So just put it outside the site so somebody take it later. So what type of waste is this? So overprocessing, overproduction, transportation, overproduction, overproduction. Yeah, I think some of you confused overproduction with overprocessing. Overproduction means ordering extra materials. Yeah, extra processing is something about, for example, so many signatures, or we don't use BEM, too much meetings, redundant daily progress meetings, these sort of things. Yeah, too much planning, detailed schedules, all of these things are extra processing, like you can see here in my table. Yeah, but in this picture mainly we can observe overproduction. Yeah, so let's say overproduction here. think somebody. Yeah, iron by transportation.
So I believe whatever the quantity ordered from the site, maybe the supplier they send extra materials. So the
Oh
transported
yeah.
waste.
Yeah. So again, it's over processing. The supplier produce more materials than required.
Okay.
Yeah. So we have extra concrete that we don't know what to do with it. So overproduction, correct. So these are column braces. Yeah. What type of waste is this one? Steel components we use for concrete columns. Yeah, we have vertical bars and then we tie them with these braces. What type of waste can you see here in this picture? Defects. What else? Transportation, inventory, motion, weighting, overproduction, overprocessing, defects, and unused talents or unused skills. Inventory, overproduction, repeat. Other students, please contribute. Don't worry, it's not graded. Just say something. Inventory, Badika. Okay, repeat. Why overproduction? Harpreet, are you there? Yes, we can see inventory waste, but it is again overproduction because you produce these things, these steel elements on site, and you usually subcontractor produce lots of them to have in hand to build the column, to fabricate the column bars, but in many cases they are extra and they are wasted. So these physical waste are consequence of overproduction. That's why I'm saying you shouldn't focus on the physical waste. You should focus on these lean wastes. Yeah, because they are usually extra materials. Yeah, extra materials, extra components are produced, but they haven't been used, so we don't need them anymore. Yeah, the structure is done, and these are physical waste. Now, that is the consequence of overproduction. But you can see inventory waste here as well because the site is too busy, it's messy, um, so lots of health and safety issues can be observed. So again, um, inventory is correct. Let's just copy and paste overproduction, correct. 8. What type of vase is this one? Cutting stone. Motion. What else? Defects. Defect. Tabassum, what do you think? Jack, what do you think? Boudica defects. Effects. Nita, why motion?
It just looks hard work, to be honest. The position, like he's climbing up onto something, he's holding it like right up behind his elbow.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a lot of things wrong with the photo, but that's one that I picked out.
Yeah. Lots of things we can see here, but yet the height of this platform is it's not a platform, but yeah, let's talk. Let's say assume it is a platform. The height of this platform is too tall. Yeah, so it's too high. I mean, so it's very difficult. As you can see, the posture of this guy is is a difficult posture. What about this guy? Look at him here. Yeah, just in front of
Yeah,
dust.
I wouldn't want to be stood there.
Yeah. He is there to keep it steady, keep the stone steady. So again, yes, it is a motion based, but defects. Boudica, why defects?
If the reason is they are redoing the stone, if they done it in the first place, they can fix it in the wall or maybe where it need to be go. But they have to redo the materials. Time waste, and then the material waste is there.
Mm.
I don't
Okay.
think that way. I was thinking about the material was delivering to the construction site to the fix it for the place, but they have to redo it for the purpose.
Hmm. Yeah, you mean materials should be ready to be installed on the building. They
Yes.
don't do. Yeah, it's a good point. Yeah, usually these stones are delivered to the site in bulk, and then these workers, these trades, cut them off, and then I think what he's doing here, he's creating some holes at the back of the stone to somehow fix it to the wall. Yeah, it's a method that they use frequently. So yeah, what Aaron, what do you think? Why defects?
Actually, I think the same as Buddhige, because normally when we are ordering the material, the project people, they didn't give the right size to the manufacturer.
Oh
So
yeah.
they will bring the materials in a lot and they will cut the cut as per the requirement. So it's like a double handling waste. So defects.
Mm. I think you raise a good point, but I don't agree on defects. Transportation, inventory, motion.
No, defects means we are talking about defects in ordering the material, like the measurements. So, no
Oh
proper
yeah, you
measurements.
think? Oh, I got it
Defects
now.
in
You
measurement.
mean yeah. It doesn't work like this in this project. They just order it for example, each of these stones something between 120 centimeters to 2.8 meters. So, and then they bring everything to the side, they cut it and then use it. But yes, it's better to use it to order standard size. So you bring everything to the side and just incorporate it into the building. Yeah. I got your point. Thank you. So this is anyway. This is motion. So as you can see, interpretation is important. I don't see any defects here, but when Aaron described it, I think, yeah, it might be a defect as well. So this is correct. This one, shearing wall. What can you see here? Motion. Motion again. Motion. Motion. So motion is an easy topic. Yeah. Who got motion?
We got.
Oh, good. So you're lucky then. Motion, waiting, skills. Good. Just zoom in a little bit if I can. So, yeah, motion is correct. Can you see this guy here? Yeah, the way he works is quite strange. But why waiting, Aaron?
Maybe the top guy who is sitting, who is watching the work, maybe he is waiting for some material. That is one point. And second one, maybe skills, maybe excess manpower, maybe.
Yeah. This guy here, standing up here, enjoying his time doing nothing. So definitely is a kind of unskilled, unused skill,
Yes.
definitely. And can you see these two guys here sitting, watching again? Yeah. So yeah, you can say they are waiting. Yeah. Again, they don't have anything to do. They're waiting for this bit to complete, and then they can start their own jobs. So again, yeah, lots of things you can see here, but mainly health and safety issues. When you see a health and safety issue, most of the time it's emotion based. Ergonomy, motion. Poor ergonomy is motion based. So motion is correct, and here is the last one. Very obvious, I believe. Waiting. What else? Please contribute, guys. Unused skills, waiting skills. So your interpretation of the photo is very important. It's not just about collecting data. You collect data, you describe data, you analyze the data, I mean the photos, videos, whatever, and then you come up with an interpretation. Unused skills. Tabassum, why unused skill?
Because therefore people are standing there without doing, maybe they're waiting, or they're like they're not they don't have to do anything.
Yeah.
So it is unused skill or waiting, both actually,
Yeah.
in this scenario.
Waiting is obvious. So they are waiting for concrete in this photo, and have, I think, 2 hours waiting for just concrete to arrive. So it is waiting, and this yellow guy here is the head engineer. I don't know what he's doing up there. So unused skills is also correct. And you can also, Burik, no, I think for the last one, you can say motion as well, because look at
Yeah.
this guy. Yeah. Motion is also true, but mainly what we can see in this photo is waiting, waste. All right. So I'm sure you can see lots of these waste in the project if you are working in industry or if you have any past experience, but in many cases people miss them. Why? Because we get used to our site. Yeah. So to pick up these waste, to identify these waste, we should learn to see. Yeah, learning to see is an ability, is an important ability that we need to see these ways, identify these ways, and then when you identify it, then you can think about solutions. Yeah. So the first step is to see waste, and this is something that we want to practice in this project. And we use another country because your eyes, because mainly most of you are based in the UK, so your eyes get used to the construction side in the UK. So Indian construction site is different. So in those photos they provide for you, it's easier to pick up the wastes. Yeah. And the way that the photos that you take and show them, again, it's easier for them to pick up waste in construction site in the UK. Yeah, so this is something that we want to do. So any question about wastes? I will show you more examples later. Anyway, my expectations in this project, first, please read extensively on the waste you got. Each of you have a specific type of waste. So reading about only one waste is not a demanding job, yeah, but it takes time. Yeah. So please read about waste in books, on internet. Don't just limit yourself to waste in construction projects. Read manufacturing waste as well so you can understand it better. Yeah, they provide lots of examples, and then you can think about similar stuff we have in construction. So first thing I expect you to do is reading extensively. Then you should identify the consequence of that specific waste on the environment. Yeah. So, for example, uh, we have extra uh, overproduction. Sorry, we have overproduction. Yeah, so overproduction. Um, Probably you remember the photo with the concrete mixer. Yeah, we poured concrete, extra concrete on the pavement on that project. So this is a kind of physical waste. What's the reason behind this? It is an overproduction. So overproduction leads to physical waste of concrete. How does it affect the environment? We know that cement is wasted, water is wasted, yeah, aggregates wasted, yeah, and we know that producing cement, yeah, generates lots of carbon. So this does affect the climate, yeah, does affect carbon footprint, increases the carbon footprint of the project. So this is how you should analyze. So yes, we have overproduction. What is the symptom? The symptom is pouring concrete, extra concrete on the street. This is the symptom. And then what is the consequence? Um, Wasting natural resources, water, um, aggregates, all of those, cement, all of those things, and also increases carbon footprint. So these are detrimental things, detrimental factors that affect the environment negatively. So the first thing that you should do is this one. Then you should think about UN SDGs. So